All right, then. So on the program this morning, like I did tell you, we are going to be doing a whole lot of environmental sustainability. But this time around, we're looking at cross borders, right? We're prospecting cross-border collaboration in environmental sustainability, the Ogun State experience. And who else is better suited to take us through this discourse other than the Honorable Commissioner for the Environment in Ogun State? And I'm talking about Mr. Oresanya. Honorable Oresanya, nice to have you join us. Good morning and Happy New Year to you, sir.
Happy New Year, Victor. Happy New Year, our esteemed listeners.
Wonderful.
Good morning, all of us.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. The last time we had the conversation with you was sometime around May last year. That's about 7 to 8 months down the line. So how are things faring with your ministry in Ogun State?
Well, yes, in line with our discussion that time, we had a roadmap, and I think I discussed the roadmap with you extensively here. And we've been following the roadmap precisely, and knowing very well the various milestones along that roadmap. And we make sure that we deploy all our resources, both human and material resources, to achieve those milestones. Talking about waste management within our border towns, talking about flood control within our border towns, talking about human settlements in our border towns, talking about growing commercial activities within the border towns.
All right.
And knowing fully well that there must be effective administrative collaboration between Lagos and Ogun for us to have effective management of those areas.
Right.
So we've been working seriously in that line.
Right, which is very good. I know that last year was better off in terms of flooding activities within those border towns, like you mentioned. 2023 was one that one cannot forget in a hurry. But even as we still speak on that, Honorable Oresanya, I know that those border towns within Lagos and Ogun State, they still have lots of challenges. But before then, let's talk about those prospects, those areas that you feel the ministry really scored high within your area of purview. What are those areas?
Well, let's start first with flood control, with flood controls in the border towns. Yes, if you look at the previous year, talking about 2022, 2023, we had devastating floods in those areas, and we took our time to study the cause of those flooding in that area. And the 2024 year, it was not as bad as it was the previous years. We had a bit of relief because of what we said we were going to do. So there are people who are very thankful, especially the people at Isheri and the Kara area. They were very appreciative of what the Ogun State government did to make sure that the flood that came, the impact was not much. The natural cause, yes, we could not do much. On that one, we have to do the collaboration with the federal government. And the federal government team came on the instruction of the president of Nigeria, our president, our amigo, Shoraju Tinubu,
Right.
deployed the National Assembly team to come because the governor of Ogun State was not relenting about it. And they came. And we've succeeded in putting the cost of repairs, of construction of medium and long-term solution in that area is already embedded in the new year budget now because of the effort of last year, apart from the palliative we were able to do. And down the line also around the Alagbole area and the rest of it, we did quite a lot of dredging in that area that really gave us a lot of relief. That is on flooding. And on defecation, open defecation,
yes,
we were able to, we promised, I remember I told you that we are going to construct public toilets around the area in most of the border towns.
Right.
I want to tell you that right now around Kara area and going towards the Wariwa and the Wawa area, you will see strategically located almost about 8 public toilets in that area. And it's still growing. We are having 20 in all around the corridor there because of the kind of settlement that is growing in that area. Very, very peculiar settlement that's going on in that area. All the bridges, under those bridges there, we have almost an IDP going on in those areas. The people have been displaced in the northern part of Nigeria drove down to look for a safer haven, and many of them are under the bridges in that area. We cannot send them back to where they come because this is a sovereign nation. They have a right to live. They have a right to be somewhere, and they are under those bridges. And we're still working with the federal government to see how they can be properly settled. But meanwhile, they constitute part of the problems for sanitation in that area, and we're working seriously
in that regard.
In that area also. So we made a lot of achievements in area of flood control and public toilets in that corridor right now.
And what about waste management? Also, what about waste management?
Yes, you recall that I mentioned last year that one of the main challenges that we have in that area is that the road infrastructure has impeded even all our desires for waste management in that area. Most of the road infrastructure deficit in that area, we have to address them to enable us effectively serve our people in that area because of access for waste collection trucks. If there is no good road, it will be difficult for waste collection trucks to access those areas. So informal waste management has been prevalent in those border towns. Very, very informal. The cart pushers, they are the one that can access anywhere easily. And when they collect this waste, they move just a few meters away and they dump the refuse and drainages and the rest of it. So it's a major challenge for us. But good enough, and I promise that I'm not going to relent. I'm going to work with my counterpart in the Ministry of Works, and we're going to sit down with the governor, and to God be the glory, road infrastructure project has commenced in most of the border towns. Go to Lambe area, go to the Ajuwon, go to all those areas. We now have new roads being developed in those areas.
Beautiful.
And Orimerumu and all those areas, we have construction work going on in those areas right now.
All right.
And these are the forerunners to proper sanitation in that area. So I'm not too proud of what we have in sanitation in that area for now. But though we are not relenting, but I want to give our people the hope that as soon as the roads are completed, it's going to be a new settlement in that area. And the kind of sanitation, public hygiene they look for, they will definitely get and will surpass the expectation.
All right. Honorable Commissioner, let's just shift gears a bit and talk about your ministry. And for those who do not really understand the inner workings, talk to us. How many agencies, how many departments do you have under your ministry, the Ministry of the Environment?
Well, right now we have three. We have three agencies. We have Ogun State Environmental Protection Agency. That's the OGEPA. And it's a kind of a mirror of what we have in Lagos, the LASEPA. So Ogun State Environmental Protection Agency is in charge of industrial waste pollution and prevention anyway. Talking about air emission, air control, and the rest of it. And every discharge of contaminated effluent into the main water bodies.
Right.
And also contaminant safety of industries. Then we have Ogun State Waste Management Authority. That's the mirror of what you have in Lagos called LOMA.
Okay.
So it has to there. So and Ogwama, which we call it Ogwama, is in charge of waste management in the state and all over the state. That's what we're covering. And also we have the Parks and Garden Agency, which has just been a fresh one that has just been established and is in charge of beautification of the city, of the state itself in general.
Right.
So to tell you that, because one of the key things I mentioned at the last interview with you was that we're going to beautify, as we clear the road, we want to beautify between Kara area to Shagamu interchange.
Right.
On the two sides of the road, we're going to have we're going to green those areas, and this is what the agency that are going to draw it on, and we already have approval of the budget for the agency to hit the ground running this year. So, and those are the three main agencies. The new one that are coming up is the safety agency, the Safety Commission.
Okay.
Ogun State Safety Commission will be coming up very soon, in a matter of few months now, this year, and one or two other more. that will be coming up. Those are the agencies.
Let's talk about the Environmental Protection Agency, which you mentioned there, which mirrors what we have in Lagos. Noise pollution is one of the aspects of its mandate. What are you doing, or what is that agency doing within the Ogun State end to ensure that noise can be properly controlled? We do not have unnecessary noise pollution across the state.
Right. Okay. In Ogun State, the Environmental Protection Agency is not in charge of noise pollution.
Oh, okay.
Because yes, it's the Ministry of the Environment, and I'll give you the reason why. The reason is that the Environmental Protection Agency is strictly in charge of industries, and a bit of commercial outlets. Industries and commercial outlets. That is what they are all about.
Okay.
We have industrial noise pollution and we have a domestic noise pollution. So the Ministry of the Environment takes care of that. Though the local government is expected to do something, but the Ministry of the Environment, in collaboration with the local government, are into the noise pollution generally. While we allow only OGEPA to deal with industrial noise pollution, which is a component of their safety, and I would give them the value, the noise, the decibel under which they can operate within the day and in the night. So for us in Ogun State, the Ministry of the Environment and the task force, they are in charge of noise pollution. When the ministry receives this complaint, we deploy the task force to go out and correct those abnormalities.
All right. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. If you're wondering who is speaking with me on the program this morning, I have the Honorable Commissioner for the Environment in Ogun State. I'm talking about Mr. Oresanya. And we are prospecting cross-border collaboration for environmental sustainability in 2025. All right. So generally, last year was good. But before then, let me just get back to the rules. I have a flash update that is coming in right now. It says there's a broken down container laden truck. Okay, let me just look for that flash update. Breakdown of a 40-foot loaded containerized truck with shaft problem. This is at Adeniro Ogunsanya in Shita. Efforts on to improvise the fault before recovery takes place. All right. But meanwhile, we have traffic managers visibly on ground trying to help control the traffic within that particular area. All right. So take note of that. Adeniro Ogunsanya in Shita, broken down 40-foot leading truck within that particular corridor. All right. So last year you had lots of ups in terms of achievements. Let's look at what this year is going to be looking like. What's the vision for environmental sustainability this year, Oresanya?
Well, yes. What I told you last year is a rolling plan. So, and when you talk about environmental projects, environmental sustainability, we have a project and we have programs. We're going to consolidate on most of the things we did last year. The flood issue is not... it's not as if we've eradicated the flood. So we're going to roll up. We're going to make sure that we'll bring in the federal government to complete or to commence the project of most of the draining projects, which most of them are ecological in nature, and to complete them, or to start some, and those that can be completed this year, yes, and those that cannot, we have to make sure that the federal government input this year will commence. Most of our gully erosion sites, and we have quite a large number of gully erosion sites in our cities, especially around our border towns. Go to Lande, go to Akute. You see areas of huge gully erosions. The federal government ecological office will commence the projects in those areas to stabilize that area. They are talking about our public toilets.
Right.
Yes, we're going to do more on our public toilets along the border towns, especially around Akute, especially around Kara, Isheri, to make sure we complement what Lagos is doing on the other side, because we have more of a problem than Lagos anyway. We have these people causing the problem. They are residents within our area more than Lagos. So, and we want to make sure that we look for a permanent solution. And one of the permanent solutions is to, and I'll still say it publicly, we're evacuating the Kara market from that location.
The Kara market? To
make sure we resettle them. Yes, we're going to resettle Kara market.
Okay.
It's on the pipeline. If you go there, you will have seen the signboard. We gave you notification about 3 months ago. The traders are ready. 85% of the traders are ready to move. And once they move, all the associated environmental problem in that area will go off. So we're just waiting for the...
And where is the market going to be relocated to?
Ogere. They're moving to Ogere. Ogere is very big and very wide. Thank God for the federal government intervention on the road. From Kara to Ogere now is just about 30 minutes drive. So and at Kara, you don't have much land there. And it's conducive area for such an activity. No, it's not conducive for such activities of trading.
Right.
But around Ogere, yes, there's a grazing land there they can use.
Okay. All right. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Let's see if we can expand the discourse beyond the studios to have your input. This morning, I have the Commissioner for the Environment in Ogun State, and we're looking at cross-border collaboration for environmental sustainability in 2025. And he's spoken a lot about what the plans are and how they intend to actualize that. 08099-120-777. That's the number that you can connect with us this morning. 08099-120777. 091-5387-7127. That's the number you can also use. 091-5387-7127. You can reach us via those numbers or send WhatsApp messages. We'll definitely take that and we'll escalate that so that the Commissioner can respond as well. All right. The last update, transloading in progress at the scene of the fallen loaded mini truck. That's at Trem, Inwards Bagada. We did talk about that earlier on, that there was a fallen truck at Trem, Inwards Bagada. But the good news, transloading is very much on at the moment. So take note of that. If you're driving through that corridor, other areas this still remains very, very calm for now. If you're heading to the island, the Third Mainland Bridge is still very accessible, even though Ikorodu Road is also accessible too. But of course, you need to watch out for that impediment around the Stadium Hotel end. But no major worries there. Let me see. Lagos Abeokuta Expressway still looking good. The K2 axis, another breakdown to report. There's a broken down loaded tanker having battery problem. That's at Koshofe inwards Ikorodu. All right. That's if you're making that journey inwards Ikorodu this morning, you have an articulated vehicle there. So broken down tanker at Koshofe inwards Ikorodu. But efforts on by the driver to get the battery. I understand we have backlog of traffic at the moment, and the backlog is felt somewhere around Ilele. Motorists are making use of the BRT lane as an alternative route, while officers are visibly doing the needful within that end. So they're giving you directions at that point. So just take to their instruction as well. Also, the axis, another accident to report. It's a lone accident of another loaded vehicle at Toyota by Akpakun inwards Oshodi Anthony. I understand it rolled back and, of course, actually drifted into the gutter, occupying 50% of the road there. Efforts on for transloading as well. So it's turning out to be a morning of breakdowns. So far, so good. But we'll be sending you more helpings as they come in from time to time. All right, then 08099-120777. You can send in your questions. And of course, if you have any concerns for the Commissioner this morning, feel free to connect with us. And of course, he'll be, he's here to respond to you. I have some questions that are popping in at the moment. Honorable Commissioner, this one says, good morning, Mr. Oresanya. How does Ogun State ensure that its environmental policies align with those of its partners? Dr. Idowu is sending that one in from Mowe.
I'm fine, immediately.
Honorable Commissioner, did you get that?
Yes, I got the question. I heard it.
Okay.
I heard you.
So he's saying...
the question from Dr. Ido.
Yeah, he said, how does Ogun State ensure that it aligns with its partners? Environmental policies align with its partners?
Well, when it comes to environmental policy, there's a national policy which all the subnationals must align with. Subnationals, you cannot give any policy beyond what the national policies are. So that's the starting point. All of us subnationals must align. So in Ogun State, we're the first state in Nigeria to publish what we call a green book. In our green book, you have all our policies they're stated there, and these are in line with the national policy. So for Lagos also, I'm sure all Lagos policies will be in alignment with the national policies, and that way you can be sure that the two state policies are all aligned.
Okay.
And definitely, I'm sure that if you take time to check the two, they're complementary, and we have to have a institutional collaboration to make sure that complementary policies will do the right thing.
All right.
And I'll give you a good example of that. Okay. On the public toilet issues and open defecation eradication. Yes, we have our agency, Ogun State Environmental Protection Agency, and the LASEPA working together in that area. They had a joint press release, I think, about a few months ago on some of these actions. So there are joint actions going on in all these areas.
Good. This one says, happy weekend. Considering the successful waste management strategies implemented by the Lagos State Waste Management Authority, LOMA, has Ogun State explored or initiated any partnerships with Lagos State to enhance waste collection and environmental sustainability efforts? Ilesomi is sending that one in.
Yes, thank you, Ilesomi. When you look at Ogun State and Lagos, one natural advantage there is that the only neighbor Lagos has is Ogun State. The only neighbor Lagos has is Ogun State. So there is no way Lagos Waste Management Program can move forward without aligning with with Ogun State. So Ogun State has its own strength, Lagos has its own strength. So whatever strength we achieve in Lagos earlier on, Ogun State activities they are there to complement that. For example, Lagos has you don't have the luxury of land to dispose of waste,
right?
And which Ogun State has the land. So waste from Lagos must actually move to Ogun. And Ogun is the headquarters of our recycling Nigeria. We have all recycling plant programs going on in Nigeria. All are reside in Ogun State. So Ogun State is handling the downstream, developing its own strength on the downstream activities and waste management, while Lagos has already established upstream strength. Okay, well, that's the collection of waste. That's the upstream where you look at the waste management business value chain. And so collection is going on very well in Lagos. All right, and but the waste must find its way somewhere to be disposed or to be recycled.
All right.
And Ogun State is preparing that area of strength.
Let me take this call.
And most of the industries in Ogun. Yeah, okay.
Let me take this call. Hello there, good morning. Hello?
Hello.
Good
morning.
Yeah, good morning. What's your name?
Hello.
Yeah, good morning. What's your name?
Yes, good morning.
Yeah,
happy weekend.
Happy weekend to you. This is B, right?
Yes.
All right, B, you're calling from where?
Yeah, I'm calling from Ogba.
All right then.
I have keen interest in Ogun State.
Go ahead, B.
In my state, yes.
Oh, you are from Ogun State, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So I want to ask the Honorable Commissioner in the studio that what about young people in Ogun State? How are they being involved in this cross-border environmental initiative? Are they being carried along? Are there job opportunities for them? Stuff like that.
Very good question. All right, B, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay then, so integration of the youths into environmental sustainability practices along the cross borders. Honorable Oresanya, what's your ministry doing to integrate them?
So integrate youth or what?
Yes,
he's integrate.
He's talking about the young people. He said, what are you doing to really carry young ones along in terms of environmental sustainability?
Oh, okay. Yeah, when you talk about sustainability and the social component of that sustainability, youth are pivotal to the social sustainability because when you talk about the energy to be deployed and the aspiration, it resides with the youth. It resides with the youth because they are still the one aspiring to be something, and the youth want to carry a niche for themselves. So if you are not involving the youth in your sustainability strategy, then you've lost it. So anybody that will not involve the youth. So in Ogun State, what we have a program called the Ignite Ogun, Ignite. That means we ignite the energy in the youth. And what we do with that is to make sure that we aggregate these youths on weekends and we train them on waste management strategies in particular and environment in general. So we train them. It's free. It's free. If you go online on our website, you will see it. And what we do, we train them every weekend. And at the end of the day, after 3 months, we get them certified. And you can actually be deployed to industries. Don't forget that we have the largest number of industries in Nigeria, in Ogun State. Ogun State has the largest number of industries.
Okay. Then.
And these industries are ready to take all these people as interns. All right. And the next stage we are looking at is how to fund these people when they want to start their business, so that we are doing that effectively with our youth. And we are still working with the Lagos Business School also.
Beautiful.
In this youth development program.
All right. Olu Aloko is one of our regular contributors on this program. He's sending a message here. It says, "Good morning, Mr. Ola Oresanya. Thanks for your concern and efforts on the border towns. Please, what is your agencies doing about abandoned buildings, especially at these border towns? These houses now serve as hideouts for criminals, sir." Olu Aloko, sending that one in. All right. I don't know if that's within your purview, Honorable Commissioner.
Definitely not. But it can be if it becomes a sanitation problem. If you have abandoned building and they are dumping refuse there, or they are using it for unhygienic purposes, then they become a problem. But if they are using it for security problem, then it's a security issue, and which the government has to take over, so that for security purpose. But as you've mentioned it now, I will advise Oluwaluko, please take pictures of such areas, get their numbers, and put them on social media. We have a WhatsApp number, which I'll still share with you.
Okay.
Send it to the WhatsApp number, and I'll make sure that I push it to the right quarters, and something will be done. We have a law in Ogun State that will actually take over such property on the law of public nuisance.
Beautiful. Yeah. All right. This one says, "Good morning, Traffic Radio. How is Ogun State managing pollution from industrial areas, especially those near the borders?" You didn't put your name, but I would have loved it. But thank you so much. So, industrial areas, it says, how is the state handling that? Pollution.
Well, I mentioned Ogun State Environmental Protection Agency. Their core function is to ensure that we manage these industries and that will prevent pollution. Large industries in Ogun State, as at the last count last year, we have close to 750 of the large industries.
750?
Yes, large industries. Large industries. When I say large industries, they are large industries.
That's
both
a huge
multinationals figure. And the rest of them, yeah.
Right.
Manufacturing. And we have other smaller industries going to thousands of them, other SMEs. So, we have what we have in border towns. We don't have too many of these industries in the border towns, except probably Agbara area, and probably Magodo. Makogi.
Okay.
We have them at Makogi, Magbara. Yes, that's where we have most of the industry in those border towns. Not very close to Lagos, though, because many of them most of the factories are trying to move away from Lagos as much as possible. And but in those areas, yes, we'll make sure that we'll prevent one of the key problems they've been having is not just in air emission. It's actually in their effluent discharge. They discharge their effluent into the communities. And because the drainage plan in most of those communities are not properly integrated, so that we already have industries coming up, but the drainage plan are not well integrated. And we are developing a master plan now, and it's one of the things I promised at the last meeting that we will have completed, but unfortunately we did not complete that. So make sure that we complete it this year by the grace of God. And so when we have this drainage master plan, all the industries are going to integrate their effluent discharge into this master plan, so that when they are pushing out their treated effluent into the river bodies, they won't pollute, they won't cause flooding in the communities and expose the communities to danger. And we have them all over right now, all over the states. And that is one key thing. We'll make sure that we'll address this here. So thank you for calling my attention to that.
All right, then. That's a flash update here. It says, broken down 40-feet loaded containerized truck at Oshakwa, London. This is inwards Jakode roundabout within the Lekki Aja corridor. It's having a tractor tire problem, and of course, it's occupying 40% of the road at the moment. But the efforts ongoing to get it fixed and moved out of the road, while traffic personnel are still on ground doing the needful within that particular corridor. 09153877127. Gradually winding to the end of the program, but of course, we can still have some more contributions from you. If you have any questions for my guest this morning, that's the Honorable Commissioner for the Environment in Ogun State. You can feel free to bring that in as well. Another message just popped in. This one says, good morning, Victor and the Honorable Commissioner. Well done, sir. Please, does Ogun State have plans to introduce or expand recycling programs similar to those in Lagos? Thanks. Emmanuel is sending this one in from Ikorodu. Emmanuel, thank you so much. All right, so Commissioner, do you have plans for that?
Oh, yes, Emmanuel. One thing I need to tell you is that what you do in Lagos now is to aggregate the recyclables. And the recyclables, they end up in Ogun State. In Ogun State, we recycle more than 1,500 metric tons of plastic every day. More than 1,500 tons of plastics every day. There's nowhere in the country where you are such. In Ogun State, along the area where you reside in Ikorodu, take a drive along Ogijo. You will see a lot of industries there that are into recycling of metals and ferrous and non-ferrous metals in that area. I mean, close to 1,500 tons also in that area. Every day of ferrous and non-ferrous metal are recycled over there. And if you come towards the interchange and even Abeokuta, we have about 3 or 4 of the 4 large industries that also recycling about 1,200 metric tons of paper on daily basis. So Ogun State is where you do the recycling. Maybe you aggregate in Lagos because Lagos has the highest volume of waste right now. So you have to collect them, and when you collect them, you move them to Ogun State, where we have areas where they are processed and turned into new products. So when you talk about circular economy in Nigeria, Ogun State comes, I think, first in the circular economy programs.
All right.
So you can just go on our website and learn more about what's going on in Ogun State and recycling.
All right. So you've not talked about Abeokuta and all of this. Abeokuta is the capital. How are things panning out in Abeokuta?
Yeah, Abeokuta is superb. I'm inviting you over. Take a drive round, and for those of our listeners who are probably from Abeokuta listening to us right now, they will tell you they are proud of what they see in Abeokuta. It's a whole lot of change from what it used to be. About 6-7 years when we took over the government in Ogun State, what we saw of Abeokuta was a very, very sorry state, very, very terrible. But right now, go to Abeokuta now, you'll be proud of yourself. And I think there are even a global documentary on Abeokuta right now as one of the main tourist destination in Nigeria. It's so lovely, so beautiful to see the town. Come on a train to Abeokuta and look at the beautiful clean air of the city and have a nice weekend. You move around, you don't see refuse, you don't see dirt on the road in Abeokuta. It's a lovely place right now. So it's a capital and very lovely.
All right, then let's begin to wrap this up right now. Time really fast spent. So the prospects for the environment this year is that you're going to be following through your roadmap and you'll be taking things in a proper perspective. Is that correct?
Perfect. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So what's your message to Lagosians, to Ogun State? Those that live in Ogun State, what's your message this morning?
Well, to my people in the border town, yes, we call ourselves the New Lagos. Those of us in Ogun State who are living in the border towns, Sherry area, Kara, Magoro, Magada. We have people in Okiafa, Alagbole, Akute, Iju, Adiyan, Sherry, Ojodu, Abiodun, Omole, even Omole there and the River Valley. We already have a program for our awareness program for you. Be on the lookout for. We started actually, and I'm sure many of the people who have called today will confirm that we have a media presence there so that you can communicate with you on weekly basis And I think the program will start by 9:30 right now. I don't want to advertise on that radio station here, but Victor, if you permit me, is a radio station within. There are 2 radio stations around the border town, Melik FM and the other radio FM, radio station. And at 9:30 is dedicated every Saturday to people in our border town. We want to communicate with you the more. We have started on our own, and I want to compliment. We know what you need, and we want you to tell us what you need more from us. And we are determined to make our border town to be more livable, so that when you do your work in Lagos, you can come and relax in Ogun State.
All right, quickly. I wanted to share that number. I wanted to share the WhatsApp number that you said people can reach out to the ministry.
0901 048 0056. 0901 048 0056.
All right.
Send your WhatsApp messages to that number, and you can be sure we'll respond almost immediately.
Okay, then. So we'll leave it to that for now. Honorable Commissioner, it's nice connecting with you on the program this morning. Thank you so much for linking up with us.
Nice talking with you too.
Okay, he is Oresanya, the Honorable Commissioner for the Environment in Ogun State. And this morning, we've been able to look at cross-border collaboration for environmental sustainability in Ogun State.